We're both sat here in backwards hats as well. We look like rat pricks.
Right, hi, welcome. This is episode number 2. Last week's was all right, actually.
Wasn't it?
Some good numbers on there.
Oh, I'll
Yeah,
take that.
YouTube did well, and so did Podbeam, even though I didn't really advertise it. So going forward, we might try and get it on all the other podcasting platforms. Right, I'm super prepared because I've not opened my iPad,
Time.
but I've got a little order of things. My laptop's too far away to see.
That's,
And also, it's not even switched on. It's just there to hold up the pictures.
that's just effort to go
Yeah,
all over there
yeah,
as well.
too
innit?
far.
So,
So what's new?
what's new? Well, elephant in the room. I've got my first singles match coming up.
Yep.
It's at Thundergraps in the X Church in Gainsborough. I can't remember the exact date. That's a
Who named that show? Thundergraps. I mean,
Oh,
who's
who
a
would
big Thundercats fan?
Who spent a silly amount of money on a massive Thundercats sword? Who's that?
That might have been my idea.
Maybe.
Yeah, movie posters tend to be my thing. So yeah, okay, your match. Let's talk about it.
Academy title with Harry Johnson.
Nervous?
Nah. It'll be. He's good enough. It'll be a piece
Good enough
of
to
piss.
carry you.
Yeah. Hey, I said it on the last pod, so I'll say it again. I got a decent match out of strap, so I don't diss me like that.
Yeah. Okay, I'll gear that. No, it should be good. What else is on the show? What else has been announced?
The final of the tag tournament. Isn't
Yep.
it? That's on Thundergraps.
Just noticed my chair's lower than you. I look even shorter.
Yeah, I'm also sat
Problem
back in my
for
chair.
later.
What else has been confirmed? Do you know what? I have a phone in my pocket. We can look at this.
You should know.
Oh, I don't remember everything off my heart.
What about the heavyweight title match?
Oh yeah, Rogan and Nathan Black.
Yeah,
That'll be very good.
Yeah.
Well, there's expectations, guys. Don't fuck it up. Maxwell versus KD again. That's fun.
Yep.
They should be able to put a good match.
Again, they always have good matches and they escalate it each time. So if you've seen it, doesn't mean you've seen it exactly the same. It'll get better each time.
I mean, they've worked together a good few times now, so they should.
And former stable mates.
Yeah, new age.
So,
Forget about them sometimes.
So when's the show? Oh God, look at you having to look for it.
3rd of May. I should know that.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
Because it's the same day as Lincoln Wrexham, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So we're gonna go straight from the football straight to the show, which means
fun.
ring dodging, and not that I'm.
He's taught me
performing,
well.
'cause
You can tell.
I'm still too injured to perform. And what's that? A week before my surgery? 2 weeks before my surgery? I can't
don't
remember.
know when your surgery is, mate.
Well, it's somewhere around there anyway. So what else is new this week? What's happening tonight? Why am I wearing a John Cena t-shirt and John Cena hat, even though I'm not a massive Cena fan?
It is Mania weekend, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I had something way better for what's new, and that's what's chilling under your Cena hat.
Yeah, let's just ignore that.
No.
Yeah, no, this isn't for the.
No,
this isn't for the audience.
No, take the hat off.
No, this isn't for the audience. You can piss right off. That's not happening, and we're keeping this in. It's not happening.
Take the hat off.
This is for me, right?
He doesn't love you. Don't buy his shirts ever again. Right,
I need you to buy my shirts because I'm not earning money wrestling anymore. I need you to buy my shirts. I need you to buy my drawings.
He's probably posted it somewhere, but you have posted it on Instagram, haven't you?
I posted what happened on Instagram. Yeah.
Yes. If you didn't already know, his bright pink man ponytail is now dead, unfortunately.
Yeah. But it's staying under the hat for now, so you can't see me, as the hat says. Right. Anyway, let's get away from that. We've jumped ahead of ourselves. We've already plugged the show, which you jumped ahead of the schedule here. So one thing we haven't got is any questions for us. So if you've got any questions you want to ask him, no one cares about my opinions on anything. And if they do, they're probably expecting me to swear and say naughty things about
his
people.
opinions normally get us cancelled.
Yeah, so we don't want them.
them.
So if you've got any questions, fire them over wherever you see this, or Instagram, or whatever, and he will probably answer them
at some point, maybe.
And then have we got anything else to say before we bring in our guest? That sounds really weird because calling her a guest.
It's my mum. Yeah, it's weird. That. Is there anything
Anything you want to say?
Not that particularly.
Particularly.
I dropped out of school.
If there's an English teacher around, I'm homeschooling him, so got your
Please
work cut
help.
out if you want to jump in here.
I'm not great at England, so yeah.
I don't know if you can hear through the microphones that she's already here laughing away at us. So, right, we'll do a little cut here because now we need to figure out how to operate a second camera and sync sounds and all the other technical shit.
All the stuff that we should have figured out before we decided to do a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just winging it. So if anybody wants to help put this shit together for us.
If anyone wants to do it for us, we'll just sit here and watch and take the credit.
Help us with technology and stuff like that. That'd be really cool because, yeah, we're pissing in the wind here a little bit.
Yeah, that's what makes it fun, though.
Right, we'll have a quick cut here and we'll be sat exactly back. And we might not have even told you we need to cut, but fuck it.
I won't even move.
Well, you will because you're going to press stop on the camera.
Bollocks. Keep this in. That's a fun note to end on, right?
Look, we're back. We've got two cameras on. We've got microphones on. We've got the guest. It's still really weird to say guest.
Do you know what? You can even introduce her. It's your wife after all.
It's your mum.
Unlucky. I called it first. You can do it.
Right. Okay. So both on screen, behind the scenes, booker and promoter and ring hirer and all the other bits that go with a business. Here's my wife. His mum. We going by stage names? Miss Rebecca, Becca, wife, woman. What else do we call you? He obviously calls you mum.
Gruffalo.
We can't
Dinosaur.
repeat half the stuff that I get called by you guys.
Yeah. Right. Welcome to our very fun podcast show thing.
I don't know what I'm letting myself in for here.
You should be honoured, is what you should be.
Oh, should I?
Guest.
First
Testing
guest.
out how we do some shit with technology.
Yeah.
And watching you try and do this shit with technology has been hilarious.
It's like a fucking chimp with a tool.
You are, yes.
As far as I'm aware, both cameras are recording. That could be famous last words, but we've managed it.
Yeah.
And by we, I mean he, because I've just been sat here.
Yeah, I've done some technological stuff here. I even edited the last episode on my iPad.
Bloody hell.
Without knowing what I'm doing. I mean, there's an easier way to do it on a computer. I can't even figure out how to turn the damn thing on. This one's here just as a prop.
Well, way to kill it. I'm going to speak right into it and the volume won't change. You've completely...
Yeah, the microphone. Yeah, the microphone's
killed
not
the
even
show.
connected. These are just props right now because I can't figure out how to
You
make
know
them
what?
work.
Everyone who's watching has just clicked off because we're unprofessional.
Yeah, fuck it. They probably clicked off when we started swearing.
Probably.
We always remain unprofessional.
Hey,
So-
I am professional. I am the epitome of professionalism.
Yeah, but do you know the definition of it?
Not the Oxford
Let's not go
Dictionary.
into that because we'll get another email. Jesus.
Anyway,
Right, so what have you got? The drawing's falling.
it's driving me mad. Like, I mean, it's wonderful that you've done this, right? It's great. And you can buy them apparently at shows.
Oh no, we're not printing yours off. No one will buy them.
Cheers.
I pulled out a grey hair. Go
I
away.
mean, you could have done me nicer shoes and at least you got my hair right-ish.
I got the
Anyway.
dress right as well.
Yeah, you did. Although I've not worn that for a while. But anyway, I'm going to put it to a side now because it's driving me up the wall.
So any guests on the podcast, I'm really, really making a rod for my own back, but I'm going to attempt to do a little cartoon of them so they get a little takeaway. And if people want them, I will happily sell them. You just have to send me a little message.
Basically, quote him on that, and then if he doesn't, verbally abuse him in the comments on every social media platform.
Platform.
Bratform.
Doesn't matter.
That's
He's
fitting.
a prat. I can't speak English. We've already established that.
So we're not talking about us now. It's your mum.
Yes, it is.
What about me?
Well,
Ask some questions,
ask
mate.
some questions. What is it like running shows? How about
Running
that?
shows?
That's a good start.
Yeah.
It is probably the single most stressful thing I do.
Really?
Running shows. Yeah. I think everybody just, they turn up and think that the magic happens. And it
Everybody who's not backstage when you're not shouting, "Oi, fucking listen!"
doesn't. Well, if people listened in the first place, then I wouldn't need to shout, would I?
I think you are the reason. Like we went back to it last episode about why I was scared of wrestling shows because of Ryback's pyro. I honestly think it was her shouting. I think that's what did it in the end.
I just think if people did it in the first place, I wouldn't have to lose my mind. Because everything I say is logical. And I'm not asking too much.
To be
So-
fair, it is most of the time logical things that you end up shouting out, like when you have boards that piss, I've dropped my phone.
Wait.
When you have boards that go in a certain direction, there's only space for one board, and it's like one jigsaw piece, and they put it on back to front.
Yeah,
Or
drives me up the wall.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
but again, that's on you for deciding to be the only smart person here. You could have like, you
Yeah.
chose to marry him. That's on you.
I do that bit right. I just distract a lot of people as well.
You
You've
do.
also only
You
got
and-
one arm.
You are literally the most distracting person when it comes to me setting up this ring.
My boy is good looks.
Well,
Everyone turns to me.
actually,
It's not, you just talk shit all the time.
I'd argue that Wing Commander Nash is probably worse for
Yeah,
it.
but I don't mind because he's hilarious.
Yeah.
And
She's
he,
basically just called you
and
boring, by the
Yeah.
way.
he carries a board whilst he's doing shit, whereas your dad at the minute just talks shit and doesn't do anything at the time.
I'm
No.
cheerleading.
Cheerleading.
Nash is
Woo.
great. Why don't you book him? Oh.
Because I have tried to book him, but
Try harder.
The dates just don't line up.
You know what? Great segue.
I'm going on
here.
strike.
Great segue here. What's it? How do you go about booking outside talent?
I tend to look at them when they're wrestling on ring highs that I go to. I get sent like loads of YouTube footage and like wrestling CVs and things like that, and that's all great. And some promoters may really like that, but
She doesn't actually like wrestling at all.
I don't have time in the day sometimes to scratch my own arse, let alone go through reams and reams of writing and footage and things like that. So I tend to book people that I've seen physically wrestle. And if you've got my attention, if I'm not looking at my phone whilst you're wrestling, you've got more chance of getting booked. Because as Ian quite rightly pointed out, I don't generally like wrestling. It's not my thing. I do this to get wife points and support my husband and my children because they love it. I'll go.
And
back
also
the
to make
fact.
sure I don't blow a massive budget on booking people.
On what in people? Because that sounded like
Yeah,
something.
Booking.
Jesus.
Booking.
Booking. Okay.
Yeah, I don't pay to fuck them.
Oh wow.
You didn't need to say it out loud. Like
said that out
everyone
loud.
knew what she meant.
I have never slept with any talent.
No.
All right,
I
then,
hope.
Clint.
I hope not.
Jesus.
Anyway.
I did not sleep with that young intern.
There's plenty of people in British wrestling that have been sleeping with talent that shouldn't be. but I'm not one
Anyway,
of
in
them.
other words, she books her mates. Unlucky.
I don't book my mates. That's the thing. Wrestling just generally isn't my bag. I've tried to be more interested in it. I've tried to support the kids. In fact, tonight apparently I'm trying to stay up for WrestleMania.
That's a you decision.
But it's supporting you lot. I may well have a nana nap this afternoon. I think actually staying up for WrestleMania means that I can have a nana nap this afternoon, and that's a good excuse. So we'll go with that one.
Yeah, we did briefly brush over the fact it was Mania weekend, but then we started chatting shit about something else before we got on, didn't we?
Yeah, we'll swing back round to that.
Swing back
See,
round.
shows are stressful, really stressful.
But booking talent, like I remember when I was a little bit involved in that sort of thing, one thing I said that was important, and I just want to know your thoughts on it because it seems to have carried on, is I remember saying to you, like, having the backstage area, it needs to be people who are good for everybody to learn from and people that are good people to have backstage that will
And bottled water.
that will sit there and watch matches and feedback and help the newer guys come through. What is your thoughts on those?
I think passing your knowledge down is invaluable. Like if you sit in a backstage area and you don't give feedback and you sit in your own little corner and you act like an arsehole, I don't want you backstage. So the way that I do it is, if I would be happy to have you in my house, I would genuinely be happy to have you backstage. So I have to have people that I trust with all of my students, and who have got actually something valuable to give. If you've got an ego, don't want it. I just cannot be arsed with that. I mean, since turning 40, I'm now 43, my patience for dickheads has disappeared. I just can't abide it. So I think it's so important to have a really good backstage area where people understand and people have got like the same ethos as what we have, because that just makes it a nicer place to be, you know. Friends.
Well, it's a good job that I'm super amazing and humble then, isn't it? Said it myself. That means it's true.
So give us a backstage story that's maybe not so nice, if you can remember any. Just one where shit's gone south very quickly and you've had to be classed as the bitch.
Oh God.
Because people know that you can switch your temper, and people know that you have that that fuse of no bullshit. So there must be one story you can think of that stands out where that's kicked in, and either you've gone, yeah, that was thoroughly deserved, or you've gone, oh, mate, shit, maybe I overreacted.
I mean, you can tell the difference in how you see me and you see the first couple of questions you're asking me last week were, oh, how was your debut? You know, you got any funny stories from backstage? No. When are you a bitch?
No, because I'm going to get to the funny ones.
I don't know, because when I'm stressed and people just aren't listening, I do.
So every show.
I do blow a fuse.
Yeah, but that's normal. Like the stress of show day, you want the best for everybody. You want the best for the show, for the company. So I think everybody understands that. But like, why is my phone flashing away?
Are you hinting at a particular story?
No, not at all.
Can't remember.
Not at all. I remember one where a wallet went backstage.
Oh yeah,
disappeared.
okay. So
but that's like, I'm not saying use that one. That's just the first one that comes to my head.
I like to be able to trust people, and you should be able to like leave your bags backstage and whatnot without some thieving cretin going in there and nicking stuff.
I don't think I even know about this.
Oh, this was very, very early.
Yeah, this was like really early on. It's like back when we were at the Birchwood Leisure Centre, so that's going back like years.
2015, I want to
say.
A decade ago.
And the thing is, if I've got the proof, I'll just call you out on it. Like, I don't care. And
proof's in the pudding.
That's it. I think I don't know. I don't think there's any time really that it's been horrific. I'm sure there's probably times where people have thought I've been too harsh. But actually, if they do, like, come and talk to me about it. I'm not completely unapproachable. My face may say different, but
quite a lot of things would say different. But
there's also an element of if the shoe fits. And again, I don't want to be too topical and give anybody any airtime that don't deserve it.
No,
But
I mean, I will. So I have to be really filtered in what I say in a lot of things. One, because of my day job. I have to act completely professional, and sometimes I can't voice my opinions publicly because I can get reprimanded for it. But if anything that I put on my Facebook, for example, if you feel it relates to you, then that's a you thing. I never mention names or anything like that. And to be fair, I might not even be thinking about somebody specific when I do it.
Totally.
But if you feel that relates to you, then that's on you. That's not a me problem.
Typically means that you're the problem.
Yeah.
But no, it doesn't. I think wrestling needs to be a safe space for people to perform, to train, and
But it needs to be a safe space. Like, this safe space word, I think, is such a trigger word at the minute.
Yeah.
Right. So safe space is, you can't be criticised, but in wrestling you need to be able to be criticised. But not just in wrestling, in everything.
Yeah, I mean, geez, right. If I wasn't criticised, if I wasn't taught things taught how to do things better in my day job, how would I learn? How would I increase like the quality of my patient care if I wasn't given the right way to do it, or if I didn't take experience from different nurses, for example?
Going off track a little bit here, I'd just like to say the fact you refer to literally saving people's lives as your day job is baffling. Most people, when they say they've got a day job, they work at the local corner shop for like 3 hours a day.
A courier for DPD or
something.
Yeah.
Nah, my day job, I just save elderly people. Nothing major.
It's not even elderly people, it's old people, you div.
I hear mainly stories about the old people.
I mean, there are a lot of old people. They're the best, to be fair. They're nice. Some of them. Most
So
of them.
before we go into good things,
yeah.
Is there a moment you want to talk about where your day job has clashed with wrestling? As in, not in a shit, I can't do this because I'm doing this, but where the two worlds have completely met in one situation.
Yeah. So
I can think of one.
it would go back to Lee Mitchell.
Yeah.
When I was at a show.
Kayfabe.
Oh, okay, Mitchell Star. Sorry, Lee.
He's not exactly going to be.
Cage hire for SOS, and I was there literally hiring the cage out and just watching. And something went wrong in the match, and Lee was injured. And even now, because I don't take part in like other people's storyline and stuff, I'm sat there going, no, he's all right, it's fine, don't worry about it. And then I've got my two lads going, no, we think there's something wrong, Mum, he's not moving. I was like, okay, it's all right, the referee will sort it. And to be fair, the referee did act, but then it was like, okay, panic stations a little bit. So I just walked up to the ref and went, real or work? And he went, real. And I went, okay. And just got on. I didn't really think about it. I just did what I'm trained to do. And Thomas, my eldest son, he was there with me. We'd done our, I put him through his emergency first aid training, and he was amazing. He just knew my every move and what I needed to do. And I have to say, it was one of the scariest situations that I've ever dealt with. I knew that something was very, very wrong with the symptoms that Lee was showing. But I couldn't show in my face that I knew something was very, very wrong. And I'm well known for having one of those faces that tells you exactly what I'm thinking, but in nursing, you can't have that face.
Poker face.
Yeah.
It's
poker face.
It's a weird line of you've got to let the audience know that something is wrong, but also trying to keep them calm at the same time. It's a very, very fine line.
It's one of them things where on the outset I'm appearing extremely calm, but on the inside I am
an ADHD kid in the candy shop.
Yeah, panicking like fuck. But yeah, and my skills do intertwine with wrestling on a large scale. They always do. But I think the professionalism that goes along with my day job is something that I've always had within Fight Factory anyway. You know, I did Fight Factory before I became a nurse. And, you know, that they are one of the same. They work together and they do clash. So, yeah.
So, I remember that. Obviously, I was in that match with Lee, and the spot that happened. And again, normally I'd try and add. Well, normally we've done one episode, but I'd try and add the footage. I wouldn't do that. We've got Becca always sits there and records my matches if she's there on her phone. So I have seen it back, and I won't be posting
Seeing it back in slow motion.
But when the spot happened, which normally we'd call quite an easy spot in a match, there's four of us in there, friends, and you can see up until this moment we're having fun. Backstage was a lot of fun. It always is at SOS.
You know when a match has a dead pigeon spot in, that everyone's just having a good time.
Yeah, we're just having a good time. Four friends having a good time. And when we did the dive across and we're all on the floor, and normally I'm not one for hiding the fact I'm talking to the people in the ring, so I check everyone's okay. And as soon as I got that no, the first thing was a bit of, okay, cool, what can we get to keep him safe here? And again, I didn't know the severity of it. Once I realized this is potentially bad, and at first I'm still thinking potentially bad as in this is a bad stinger, he's taken the fall wrong or something, as that's severe but not as severe as it ended up being. I tried to make a little plan, and I got round to the back of the ring. I don't know if I can clip this bit in, but I'm trying to get a message to you, knowing where you are. Something's not right. And the panic only set in with me the moment I realised you hadn't moved yet. I'm like, I'm fucking trying to tell you here, there's something not right.
I'd like, even though this microphone isn't, I'd like to take full credit for pointing it out, please.
I know that's true.
But yeah, it was a scary thing. And then once, we'd, again, trying to not let the audience know and watching back the footage that you'd recorded, in my head, the first thing was, okay, we need to finish this, keep the attention on us, and hopefully between the referee, Paul, the promoter, and yourself, someone's going to get down to Lee, and that's kind of what happened, naturally. But by the time we'd got to the 3 count, we'd lost the audience's attention to what's going on. So as I came back round and noticed you there, to me, the panic kind of left quite a bit, because that unless there's somebody senior to you in your day job, you're not going to let anyone else tell you what to do. So that's kind of, always quite reassuring that there's somebody there that when shit goes south, not pick up the pieces, but put the pieces back together as quickly as possible. Does that make sense?
Well, I mean, that's a compliment.
That's like the nicest thing you've ever said about her.
Literally.
I'm going to call her a dinosaur in a minute, so I have to be nice.
I can literally be like, yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I just... Even when I've got people more senior than me, though, if I think that they're wrong, I'll tell them. But
Yeah,
I'll tell them
I get that.
In a way that is appropriate. Because I don't see hierarchies. If I've got somebody who is technically under me or whatever, but they've got a point and they're telling me something, then it's about listening.
Yeah, because you're going to miss things occasionally anyway, so it's
and that goes across the board. You know what I mean? Like I value the opinions of all of my students, my kids, everybody, because I think unless you can listen and have a conversation with somebody, like, who am I? I'm not above anybody, we're all human at the end of the day. So.
Yeah, but I'm thinking from the wrestler's perspective, for all of us when we're out there, you kind of, when there's someone there, if something was to go, I mean, we never think of what could go wrong. I don't think I've ever thought of anything that could go wrong. And with the injuries I've had, I probably should have thought more about that over the years. But I think when there's someone there, it calms any of that. If you have that thought, it calms any of that down for most of the guys. And I can't speak for everybody, but just from my perspective, it's always been that, yeah, well, if something does go a bit wrong, she's going to clean it up for us. So. That's kind of the home life.
Yeah, no, I'm always there to back you up. Yeah, I am.
So I was about to say, anytime he goes in the kitchen, he knows.
Okay, so let's keep it on wrestling. Whether it's Fight Factory, whether it's anywhere else you've been with me, whether it's anywhere you've been higher in the ring, the cage, any situation. Give us some funny. Anything that is entertaining, give us some stories there, because it's all good hearing from wrestlers, but
I really fumbled this question last time. I went
So one of my earliest memories,
just pick your mic up because it's slipping.
The crops come off. We know this.
One of my earliest memories of wrestling. So we're going back a long time, and this is actually going to Southside Wrestling. My favourite match, and one of the reasons why he works for us now, is Flex Buffington. And I just watched his match with Madman Manson, who had no boots on, literally drawn them on his feet, and then watching Flex with his abs drawn on. Just amazing. It captivated me, and I just found it hilarious. There's some people that don't like the way that Flex wrestles, but for me,
Flex is very adaptable and can do any sort of match.
Yeah,
and I think you're talking generally as comedy.
Just generally as comedy, like captivated me. But
that's something that anybody can see, right? So anybody out there who isn't part of wrestling, who's just from a fan's perspective, they can see that. They can go back and watch that. We're talking something that a fan doesn't get to see. Peeling back the curtain, anything funny, whether it's on the road, whether it's backstage. That's good. I always appreciate a Flex story. I always love being around Flex, whether it's in the dressing room, whether it's catching up socially or whatever, and there's a funny story I can tell you with Flex and a couple of bottles of whiskey.
Yes.
We're not going to go there.
We can't go there.
I want your stories.
That took him 2 hours to get home, and he lived around the corner at the time.
The more you say, the more they are going to want to hear. So I think we just need to move on.
Road trips are always fun, but I think one of the funniest things in our tiredness is when you inadvertently proposed to somebody else. And Laurie, Janine, became your second wife.
I never proposed to her. That's taking it really out of context.
You never proposed to me either, but yeah, here we are. Yeah, that was
What
over
is
at.
the context?
There was something.
Where were we?
We
Was
were
we
in
in
a.
EWW?
We
I
were
think?
we were coming
And
back
it was
from EWW.
Roadworks.
It was Roadworks. We'd got to a travel station. What even is
So
that?
we'd been diverted, hadn't we?
Yeah, we'd been
so what was
diverted.
normally like a long ass journey anyway.
Was an even longer.
I think it added
journey.
2 hours to the journey time.
So by this point, we were completely and utterly delirious.
We were looking for coffee, and every single coffee
thing
place
was
was
closed. And we ended up finding a Starbucks takeaway machine, and there was
Wasn't
something.
it Bishop Stortford?
Something like that, and there was a
I didn't know Starbucks did takeaway.
there was a kid's storybook, and I don't know, but anyway, you said wife, she replied yes, and I was like, oh, okay.
It wasn't even that she just directly replied. I had my back to what I thought was you, and I grabbed and went, hey wife, look at this. Shit.
And there we are, and it just went from there.
And that has caught on, and now she's my stepmom.
Yeah.
Well, angry German stepmom.
Yeah,
Right.
but also my best friend, so yeah. There's so many funny stories that I do love a road trip, but I usually
Unless Thomas is in the car. Then you two just talk about medical stuff, and that is painful.
Yeah, but he talks and talks and talks and talks,
And then you respond and
I
respond and
know.
respond and respond.
Can't help it. Yeah, I do love a trip. I do love a wrestling trip. Although I have found it in the last few years that the travelling does get harder. Like so tired.
And again, we revert back to being old now.
Massively.
And your relatives being part of the fuel that goes into the van.
Absolutely.
Here's the thing, right? You two, throughout my entire life, road rage. Oh, about grandmas going too slow. You even said something about it on, was it Utopia? Where you said about Sandra, who goes 40 consistently. Someday, you are going to turn into Sandra.
I'm already there.
She's already there, yeah.
I'm already
Especially
there.
when she's tired and I'm driving behind the van and you see the van in a 70 doing 40. I'm like, fucking hell, she's falling asleep again.
It's not that falling asleep. I'm just tired. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, the summers have been really long. And I remember one summer, like doing all the ring hires, driving down to Clacton-on-Sea, back up to Lincoln, back down to Yarmouth the next day, back up to Lincoln, to Cleethorpes.
The way to Yarmouth was a double or a triple shot as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We do 2 or 3 shows.
And like getting the ring up and down, and then like also looking after the kids and running Fight Factory. And in my 30s, that was fine, but I'm in my 40s now, and
40 going on 85.
you lot are like really hard to look after. And like, let's face it, right? I live in the most neurodivergent household going, okay? And to try and
There's a field of
balance life, to keep those two in their routine, and my daughter.
Those two?
Oh, mate.
There's no
come on.
diagnosis for me.
It doesn't need one.
I was autistic before it was cool, so I don't know what to tell you.
We don't need. I mean, earlier on, right, we're at a cake shop. Just Bake It, by the way. Amazing in Lincoln, right?
Oh,
Look at that, free plugs.
I know.
When are we doing freebies?
Because their food is amazing, their cake is amazing, and he's got his sweet for later, and then he's got his loaded fries, and he's got his coffee, and he's literally having a meltdown because he needs a soft drink to go with it.
Because with hot food, you can't have a hot drink. It just doesn't feel right.
Just
Depends
doesn't
what the
feel
food
right.
is. Nah,
Could you
depends
be
what the food
any
is.
more neurodivergent?
No.
Like, yes.
If you've got hot food, you need a cold drink.
Do you?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll drink coffee with anything.
Depends. It really depends on what the food is and what the drink is.
No.
Heavily depends on it.
No, whether it's a soft drink, whether it's water, but you need a cold drink with hot food.
So we start putting, talking about whether or not your right sock goes on your right foot and
We're
your
not
left
here
sock.
to talk about me and the household
Right.
stinking of
So-
autism.
You know what? We are
Exactly.
here to stink about to stink about that. To talk about. There's point number one. We are here to talk about that and your sock debacle.
No, we're not telling us
yes,
me. Your
we
mum's
are.
the guest.
Yes, we are. Why do you think that there's a left sock and a right sock? Where have you
There's
got that
not a
from?
left and right sock.
So why
Right.
would I go and put your socks on for you? Do you complain if I put them on the wrong
And
foot?
there's context needed for that as well, right? So
He's a
since
wrestler. He's old. He can't
Since
put
having a
socks on
broken
anymore.
back, occasionally my back seizes and I can't reach to my foot. So, sometimes I do need a bit of help, right? So take care of your bodies for you lot younger than me, right? But if you've I don't know, gone for a walk,
It's a
you've not
big one,
got
I'll
too
tell you
sweaty or nothing, or here's exactly for me, right? So going to the barbers when you get home, you need a shower because you're all itchy.
Yeah, going to the
So
barbers.
you come back from the barbers, you need to jump in the shower. You don't need to clean pair of socks because you've had a clean pair of socks on that morning, but your feet have molded to left and right in that sock. So then it has to go back on the same foot.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a man who claims he is not autistic.
I would like comments on this. And if this becomes one of them little clips we're putting out there,
We are putting
comment
this on
it.
TikTok, and you know what? We'll put it on Instagram, get it on the story, and we'll get a poll.
Yeah.
We can do that. And I
Because
bet you...
fuck off, Fly. if you take your sock off and then have to put it back on, it's molded to the left and right. So it feels odd when you put it on the other way.
I mean, I know.
You don't wear socks on them trot hooves anyway.
I don't like
Right,
socks.
so let's divert
Anyway,
away from me.
Okay.
Do you know what we could do now? You've got your fancy little list there. How about we get some viewers' questions?
Okay, but I need to look at them. So ask
need
your
to
mum
find
another
them.
question while I find them.
Oh, wait, I don't know. How much... You said earlier you don't really like... I mean, I pointed out as well, you don't really like wrestling. How much would you say you watch on average? Being a non-wrestling fan, you watch a lot of wrestling.
I watch wrestling because it's on in the house. I wouldn't specifically...
But I mean in person as well. You do more...
yeah.
You do more traveling
oh my God.
from show to show.
I'm show to show. I watch a lot of wrestling. I do. Sometimes I pay attention. And sometimes I'm that knackered from traveling that I'll sit in the van or whatever. But I suppose it's a privilege to be able to travel the country and meet so many different people from different backgrounds and seeing how other promoters do things. That is good. I really enjoy that.
I just want to jump in there and take a step from what I said last week or on the Utopia as well, saying there's a lot of cons in wrestling. There are. You can't deny that.
But
also, there's a
sure
lot of really super cool people out
there. There are.
I
really
think
cool.
the cooler people that are cool to spend 10 minutes with or a couple of hours with or whatever far outweigh the amount of arseholes.
So I had I'd just done a really long stint for my day job, and we had gone you'd taken the ring to True Grit, and this was in York, and I finished my shift at
the other week
whatever time late. I'd been at work since 8 o'clock in the morning, and then I left work, went straight to York so that you could drive your car back. And actually watching Nashbo, which was
they're just
amazing. And I even put a Facebook thing. It was worth the trip to York just to watch them two.
I think that whole show was pretty damn
show
good.
Very good,
from top to bottom, really, really good show.
I've done a couple of them hires there, and True Grit are
really,
promotion.
really enjoyable. Love it. So yeah.
If you had to pick just one specific wrestler to give a little shout out to over the years, who would it be?
Let's go with one who probably doesn't get the recognition they deserve.
Doesn't even have to be based off actual wrestling ability. Just who would you say deserves more props than they get?
God, there's so many popping into my brain. Flex Buffington.
Making his way to the ring, he is sexy flexy Flex Buffington!
But also from the guys that I've seen and their work ethic and whatnot, there's Nathan Cruz.
He is second to none. He is one of British wrestling's best kept secrets. This is Nathan Cruz.
I love watching him wrestle, his technical ability and just even the way he is backstage and his mind for wrestling. You can see that, the passion for that just comes through, and I love that.
And he's one of the nicest guys as well.
And you can tell the guys he's had a hand in training as well.
Yeah.
And therefore, Reese and Rogan, watching them and the way that they are, Rogan especially, he is so humble and he doesn't get enough props for it, and he will be so embarrassed by the fact that I've even
But all three of
mentioned him.
Yorkshire Tough, I
Yeah,
think you could,
all three Yorkshire
you could say of all of them, they're all so humble, and
Yeah.
giving this shout out is going to make them feel really awkward. So if you make eye contact with them,
Do you know what I'm gonna do now? Is I'm gonna tell everyone, go watch the documentary that he made backstage about
Oh, the little backstage
Rogan's
one, yeah.
recent title win, and you
Yeah.
will see for yourself how humble they are. You'll see HMD cry as well, which is a great
but
watch.
Rogan's already dropped into the inbox about coming in.
Yeah,
So,
that'd be great.
Let's see if we
that'd
can
be a
get the
great
real
episode,
side
yeah.
of him out on here.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, all three of
all
them
three of
would
them.
be great.
yeah, but we want to do it individually because we were only just figuring out how to do 3 mics here. So.
Yeah.
Just going on Nathan as well. I just want to back that up, and I said this to him last time, and last time he worked for us, when he worked with Ben Quill. That it doesn't matter how long you've been in this job or how short you've been in this job, whether you're a wrestler, whether you're part of production, whether you're a trainee, whatever it is, just watching Nathan, you can learn something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Refereeing that
So
match with
good.
Quill was he like there's watching him, and then I can only imagine what it's like to actually work with him, because just being in the same ring as him was mental. He is unbelievably good.
Yeah, he is. And again, I'll back you up. There's so many. I wouldn't say Nathan's underrated or underutilized at all. I think everyone realizes how good he is.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of. That's something we should bring up every week. Let's name someone who deserves a shout out, I think. But yeah, cool. So I've got the first question up anyway.
Let's go.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know how long we've been running for, but the first question is from the Magic of Wrestling podcast. So shout out there.
Yeah.
And he's asking, what's the most challenging part of promoting?
People's egos. I know. I've always said, like, I don't like to have egos in my locker room. But when we are like writing storylines and trying to make things work, I worry about how people are going to react to certain storylines. And there are some people that think that they are owed something. And it doesn't last that long with me because I can't be arsed with that. But it's trying to please everybody, and I'm quite a people pleaser. I always worry about how people are going to react to storylines and if that's going to suit their character and if I'm giving them the best platform to perform on. So then and it's not just thinking about it for that show, it's thinking about it for like 10 shows time. And not being a wrestling fan is, I suppose, quite hard because planning like that, I always thought I wasn't like really creative. But I've been doing this since like 2013, so I must be doing something right.
Yeah, but another thing, you're always happy to ask for people's help.
Yeah, like
ideas.
I'm not too shy or afraid to like drop in somebody's inbox and go, right, how would your character do this? How do you like foresee your character working within Fight Factory? How do you want to make that work? And if I can, then I will. Because I think if people really believe the story that they're trying to tell, then they're going to tell it better. But yeah, there are a lot of egos in wrestling, and it's trying to sift them out and get rid of them is...
What the fuck?
That's some stuff falling out of our reach, and if that falls to the floor, that's going to be bad, but we're just going to have to plod along.
Yeah, fuck it. It'll be fine.
Okay, so another question here. Who is your favourite wrestler and why is it Sebastian Bell? I love that. Is what I was hoping for. Go on, ask the question.
Who's Sebastian Bell?
So, Darren, who works in the carpet shop at Gainsborough.
Oh, man. Yes, that's a throwback. So there's a long-running joke with me in that I literally have to go, who's that?
Have you figured out who Sebastian Bell is yet?
Yes, I have now. But, I mean, why wouldn't he be my favourite
I
wrestler?
haven't figured out Sebastian.
It's Darren, the carpet shop
It's
guy.
Darren, the carpet shop guy. and I see him most months when we're going around postering. And also, why haven't you come back yet? Just saying.
Another question then.
I somehow
Oh no, who is your favourite wrestler? You never answered.
Oh, my favourite wrestler?
Sebastian Bell.
I don't really have one. Like, it'd be too obvious to say you.
Yeah, I'm great.
Why would it be too obvious? You've got 3 kids who are wrestling now. Well,
Who's your
biologically
favourite
2.
child? How about that?
I don't have a favourite child.
Bullshit.
Nashbo would be my favourite tag team comedy-wise.
Fuck's sake, Aaron.
I don't know.
You're the
I
one
just-
who's not wrestling out of them two.
And then I don't even like look at like the big stars either. I don't really have one, to be fair.
Okay.
We already established.
Next question from Mark is, does pineapple go on pizza?
Yes.
Right, and there is the divorce.
Pizza doesn't belong to exist.
Right, just a
doesn't deserve to
second.
exist
You
anyway,
you would not have a divorce because 1, you would starve,
I've got Nando's on
and 2,
Deliveroo.
you can't even order your own Nando's on
let alone
Deliveroo.
afford it.
Like, you literally are like, oh, what do I eat? What do I order?
Yeah, I sometimes forget and I sometimes fuck it up.
Exactly. So therefore,
But you're still wrong.
There would be no
You're still
divorce.
wrong.
Do you know what the
Pineapple
right-
belongs on my pizza, not yours.
Let
Yeah,
me say
your
what the
pizza
right
can get in the
answer
bin.
is. Pizza's bullshit and shouldn't exist in the first
That's only
place.
because you don't like tomatoes. You like garlic
Oh,
bread.
there was a comeback that was so close there, but that would definitely get us cancelled if I'd said that to him.
Yeah, so stop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so there's 2 questions here from Nikki Smith.
Oh.
I
hope
which
they're nice.
famous person would you choose to take to a pub for a night out and why? And I'm reading this exactly how I read because I'm dyslexic as fuck.
So which famous
Do you want me to
person
foolproof
would I
read it?
take?
No.
Do they have to be alive or not?
No, I think it's any famous person.
Alive or dead's more interesting anyway.
Oh God. Like, why is it your mind goes blank? So Hagrid from Harry Potter.
The character or the actor behind it?
The Robbie Coltrane. So the actor. But he is very dead now. But yeah.
I think once you're dead, you're very dead.
Very dead.
So, Robbie Coltrane, we found out that he made a little documentary about one of your mates' dads, didn't he? About
Yes.
the double axe murder.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So
yeah,
that was-
no,
that was
I
fun.
think him because he would be he'd be a really interesting person.
Okay. Hope that
You're a
answers it.
wizard,
If
aren't
not,
you?
you can shout her out next time and refuse to volunteer on the merchandise table with
Call
me.
her a twat on social media, please. Any
The
comment is good interaction.
second part of the question, or the second question, sorry. If you had to name
I've
your
already
big
seen it.
toes, what would you name them?
Pig and Trotter. I mean, I've not got very nice feet. They're grim.
I mean,
Though, if anybody does want feet pictures, I will sell them to you
Oh, you wouldn't.
of her toes. If you want mine, I'll sell them as
You've
well.
got
They're on my
finger feet.
OnlyFans, actually.
you know what? I'll sell mine as well. Go on then.
Yep.
just my toes. Why not?
Just your toes. Yeah. I don't know.
It is your Microsoft account. There's just a picture of your big toe. So every time Madison logs onto
I
the
did that.
Xbox, I have to see
It was
a picture.
it was my big toe, and it was an infected big toe at the time. It was grim. Yes.
and
Grim.
now it's forever in my memory.
There you are.
So I've got one from Mikey. So after over 12 years in the wrestling business, would you like to rephrase that wrestling's a bit shit?
No.
I would like to emphasise that wrestling's a bit shit. It's not even my question, but
And I think that's all of them that I can find because I was really late.
send
putting
more
the question
questions
out
in
there.
for next week. I don't know if this is a weekly thing. Just send more questions in, and maybe this could be a bigger segment of. We'll call it a show, because that sounds professional, doesn't it?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what we were going to steal from the boys at Utopia.
I've got a better segue for this.
Go on.
With it being WrestleMania season, you probably didn't watch it, but last night was the Hall of Fame, and we are going to steal something from the Utopia project. What just general stuff in your life would you put in a Miss Rebecca Hall of Fame? Don't even have to be wrestling related.
So Hall of Fame tends to be like people that have been
I was about to say that.
influential and have had a massive impact on your life. So there's one person that I would put in the Hall of Fame, and that has to be my dad, because I wouldn't be the person I am today without him. He influences my daily thinking, to be fair. All-round solid human who was taken too soon, but yeah, he definitely goes in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. And then, was there any more to that question?
Just any random things. Could be people.
So let's say a
Random
person and a
objects.
thing or
Yeah.
moment.
I
So you get two.
get
know,
two.
We have to remember this every time
Do
now.
we have to do one now? Because we didn't do one first.
Nah, it's not our episode.
I'm
So-
putting Tang Fast Sticks in 9, by the way.
It's not yours.
I don't care. Tang Fast
So-
Sticks are in the General Hall of Fame. They're great.
The person, obviously my dad, the thing in the Hall of Fame.
Thing, moment, whatever.
Thing, moment. Crikey. Moments would be my kids being born, really, I suppose. Life changing.
It was like watching a murder. The playground was ruined.
And yet you still returned.
It's all your fault.
Yeah.
I mean, all of this is my fault. If it wasn't for me being born, right, there's a good chance that Fight Factory doesn't go on after like 1 or 2 shows.
Maybe.
There's too much to go into it. But I've said this before, and you always end up agreeing in the end. So
Yeah, wrestling. The reason why I keep going in wrestling when there are days where I thoroughly hate it is because of my kids and
Not
the
you.
fact that
shit.
yeah, well, no, it's for your
Can't put
dad.
that on YouTube.
It is for
We're gonna
your
have to
dad
blank
as
that
well because this is your life, isn't it?
Who, me?
Yeah,
Not anymore.
yeah, it is.
No, the doctor
not over
said
yet.
that's pretty much it.
Yeah, don't always believe what a doctor says. So yeah.
So, wow. Okay, so Hall of Fame, all good. The other side is what would you blackball from life?
Oh God.
Because we can't word it any other way because that'll get us demonetized on YouTube.
What would I blackball from life? The after effects of COVID. I have to say it because actually COVID it took a lot from us, took a lot from everybody, to be fair, but it's still affecting day-to-day life. And during COVID, when we were all at home, people had a lot of time on their hands, didn't they? And the whole sort of like the speaking out movement within wrestling, some of that was really, really positive.
Oh, it was totally needed.
But there was some really, really shit stuff that came out of that as well. And there was just so many people who had struggled, and you think, Christ. There's some companies that got outed and should have stayed outed and closed down forever. But hey. And then the after effects of like in my day job. I don't want to talk about that for 20 minutes because my son will get bored.
That and you might get pulled into the office. Oh no, I'm going to get into trouble for you now.
Like just life in general has been harder since then. Some positives, but a whole load of negatives came from that. So yeah.
I
that
kind
can
of
be.
thought when we came up with the idea of Hall of Fame and blackballed it, he's like, oh, some nice-hearted. No, my dad's dead and COVID ruined my life. Great, that's great content. Yes.
Hey, do you know, it's honest, isn't it?
Yeah,
And
true.
I'm on film, and I have to remain filtered.
So I've got a question. I know we're jumping backwards here because this is potentially
How your brain works.
ADHD or something. I don't know.
It's how you are though. We'll be having a conversation at home, and then you'll go back to conversation you had in the morning in bed with her, and you'll start talking about it.
'Cause
To
I'll
me.
remember it.
I ain't never fucking talking about.
So the old saying, you can make money or you can make friends in wrestling. But I would say like you can do both. I'm not saying we've made millions out of wrestling at all. That's
wish
not
we
what I'm
had.
saying. But friends-wise, I know you spoke about it on other podcasts, and you spoke about it in dressing rooms and to friends who aren't necessarily in wrestling, but being a female promoter, being a female who deals with the cost of the ring hires and all these sort of things. Go into that a little bit for us quick.
So, being a female promoter is hard. I think I've had to work harder than my male counterparts, to be fair. In the first few years when we were hiring the ring out, etc., literally people would go to you and ask, and you would then have to direct them to me, because that's the side of the business that I ran. And then they would still come back to you because apparently my opinion meant nothing. So I suppose I had to be harsh, and I had to say things that people might not like. And I suppose I had to come across as a bit of a bitch, because I had to solidify myself in that that realm of wrestling. But I think the way that I work and the way that I portray myself, people do now respect, I think, what I do, and how I run the hires. And at the end of the day, I am all about safety and people's well-being and making sure that stuff is run properly, so that every time that somebody gets into that wrestling ring or the cage, they are safe, or as safe as they possibly can be. And I don't stop worrying until that ring is back in the van and it's 100% under my control again. But being a woman in that environment has been really, really difficult, and people haven't always taken me seriously. And then the women are wrestling as well. It could be quite a bitchy environment to work in.
Yeah, but I'd say you've made some pretty good, if not like really close friendships. You've made some decent friends with females in wrestling.
Yeah.
And also you have made some pretty close friendships with some, right?
Yeah, I have. I mean, like Laurie, Janine, she's my best friend. And the fact that
She's my stepmom, so
the fact that she now lives in Belgium is horrible. I miss her terribly, but you know, it is.
With Laurie recently making her return to in-ring action, how long is it before you cave and just pay to ship her over there?
Just for friendship, then the wrestling
to
gig
ship
on
her
the
over.
side.
Yeah.
Do you know when we went to Holland and we met up at the safari park? That was wonderful. It was really, really nice to see her. It had been too long, and you know, hopefully she will be back over at Fight Factory as soon as. But I suppose I'm probably one of the only females who has been able to fix a dislocated finger for Julia
Without getting a punch in
without
the face.
getting a punch in the face. So yeah.
So that actually reminds me of a funny little story, which is quite a few years ago at one of the it might have been a holiday park, it might have been a town show, I can't remember. But Ricky Knight Jr., when he was quite a bit younger, and we were all saying this kid's going to be amazing, and
Yeah.
now look at him, Jesus, probably the best in the country. But I just remember you were shouting at somebody or having a go at somebody, and he just turned to me and he went, "Holy shit! Can you imagine her and my nanny as a tag team, or pissing both of them off at the same time? Fuck that!"
I think he'd get stabbed. I think that's the
I just
level
remember
of
like
too.
he literally lived that second in his life, and I think a moment of fear flashed through him. It was I can't remember the exact story of what was happening
I remember
at that time.
though,
But,
yeah.
yeah.
But
Julia's great, by the way. I was refereeing a show at their performance centre. I think it was my first time reffing at WAW.
yeah.
And every so often, she'd just poke her head out a little office thing, or when she was getting food, she'd just go, "Oi, shit face!"
Is that how she sounds? You know you're going to get a smack for that.
Oh, I'm getting a
need to
smack
give it a
anyway
smack.
for just being me. Right. I can't do accents. I
The
don't know.
funniest thing with
Yeah.
Julia and you as a story, I don't even know if you'll remember this, but we were wrestling at, I can't remember if it was under his GWA or his RDW banner, and it was after I'd left, so I was called back to go, and you'd brought him along, and he was petrified of Julia.
Yeah.
And she was like, "But why? You've met me before." Like, and he was really small. Like,
why would I be terrified?
I can't even remember how old he would have been.
Oh,
But
tiny.
she was like, "Does this make you laugh?" And smacked me, and you laughed, and that was it for the rest of the day. I was just getting a hit to make you laugh.
Yep.
But you were tiny then, like.
I think
3?
one of the hardest but most rewarding things about wrestling and running Fight Factory is it's always been really nerve-wracking watching you wrestle, and I always worry about your injuries and how you're gonna be, and I see the day-to-day pain that you're in. But then, like, when Thomas started wrestling,
Making his way to the ring, TJ!
Oh. AJ to TJ. Well, unfortunately we missed out on a brother contest here. But TJ showing some respect to his brother. Perhaps now going to be looking for revenge on behalf of his brother.
like watching him like jump from the top rope and things like that made me nervous. Watching Kaya,
Kaya, of course, part of the Loeve family.
wrestle, you know, that makes me
Kaya
nervous.
went through a stage of wanting to do, like, again at the holiday park. She,
Yeah.
Again, going back to WAW and the Knight family, she'd quite often grab Zach or Roy and say, "Hey, teach me something," and jump on him. And Zach was quite often climb on the top rope and I'll catch him. We'll do a hurricanrana and stuff
that made me.
But she has developed a very sensible style of wrestling.
Yeah, she has. Which is good. But then now you
I'd just
coming into wrestling.
Don't recognise that.
Making his Fight Factory Wrestling debut, AJ Loeve!
That's referee Ian.
If wrestling goes well, you're gonna have to deal with another 30 to 35 years of this. So.
And it terrifies me. It really does. As a parent, as a mum. But it's not just the physical side of it, though. It is when you send your children out to school and things like that, you can no longer
Don't worry about that with me.
you can no longer protect them from the big wide world. And now that you're going out into the wrestling business, I can no longer protect you from that either. And
well, he's not going to be going out until at least his 16th birthday.
No, but for the most
if he's
part,
going to work
it
anywhere,
is-
obviously we'll be with him.
yeah, it's for the
before
most
then.
part, it's a really, really good environment. But there are people that'll stab you in the back, and then the mama bear needs to come out because I protect you.
I've been in wrestling all of 2 weeks, and I've already decided I'm gonna get a mullet. So they probably.
And I've told you need to pay for that yourself. Hey, so there you go. I just care. That's the thing. I care for my family. I care for my students. Every decision I make comes from a good place. Whether that's misconstrued by some people, that's on them. But it's always from a good place.
Fuck him.
No.
I think that's the last thing you want.
That's the last thing.
I don't mean literally fuck him. I mean fuck him.
Yeah.
There has to be a point in time. You let things get to you far too easily. There has to be a point in time. Again, we're going full circle here. If the shoe fits, that's your tough shit, right? And if you're going to get butt hurt by something that you think is about you, that is on you. Yeah. Like, I will put out a cryptic post about something that could be to do with wrestling, that could be to do with the dickhead in Asda who was trying to kick off a member of staff and then slipped. Tough shit, right? Could look like an arsehole in front of everybody. Like, it could be Sandra, the shit-arsed driver in front of me, who's doing 40 and a 30 and 40 and a 70. Fuck off. Right? But if you think my cryptic thing is about you,
then that's more about you.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a you problem.
it's saying more about you, right? So, again, I'm not even going to rant about it. I'm not going to give it the time of day. There has to be a point where you kind of just go, fuck it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Easier said than done, but is what it is.
Fuck them. Just fuck them. I'm probably getting demonetized for the amount of fucks in this. And it's like a Limp Bizkit song. How many fucks in this fucking song?
It's the South Park
Anyway.
episode that said shit on TV like 100 and something times.
Yeah. Right. So we need anything you're going to plug.
Okay, so May 3rd, Thundergraps, X-Church, doors 6:30, show starts 7 p.m. Tickets are on sale from fightfactorywrestling.com. you need to go and buy those tickets.
She's way better at this shit than we are.
Yeah, I know, right?
Jesus.
And then the next show, which hasn't been named yet, June 28th, 1NK. That is our next Lincoln show. So tickets for that will be going on sale probably end of May. And also we need to figure out a name for the show.
I mean, I already pitched one.
But then there's also our training school, which is FFW Pro Wrestling and Fitness Centre. We are based in the Birchwood area of Lincoln, and we teach people from 8 years and upwards. Really, really friendly group. Good coaches, DBS checked, etc., etc.
First
Fully
aid
insured,
trained,
First aid
insured.
trained, all that lot. Stuff that should come as standard, I might add, but doesn't
What else
always.
does the gym offer?
Personal training. And do you know what? Dutch is really good at his job.
Oh, now you've said it's me. No fucker's going to come.
You've also just called your legal husband by his wrestling name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's better than
Dutch
some
is
of the
pretty
names
much
I called
dead now,
him.
right?
Dutch, yeah.
I mean, everywhere you go, you're Hayden Dutch Loeve anyway. So.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. So go buy tickets.
I just want to ask one more question on this
Oh no.
because I'm sick of hearing it, and I'm going to blame you lot, right?
Oh, God.
Tickets go off sale when?
At 7 p.m. the night before the show. So May 2nd, 7 p.m. tickets go off sale. And that is because I need to get my list of seats together and allocate everything. So when you go, oh, I can't find the tickets, that's because they've gone off sale. It has been the same since we started selling our own tickets on fightfactorwrestling.com. Okay?
I thought that was going to be way worse than it
And
was.
then
So we
the
just-
prices go up on the door. So you're so much better off getting them online. It's cheaper. You will save a lot of money. And your blue light card discount applies to the person that's buying the ticket, not to your whole group, because I'm not made of money.
That's a really good way to end that.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to plug? Social media?
Fightfactorwrestling.com. Instagram /FF Wrestling. That's Facebook, innit?
I don't know.
But yeah.
I can't keep up with
All
social
you have
media.
to do is search Fight Factor Wrestling UK and we will come up. We are like the second most searched on Google, apparently, according to the analytics. So there you go.
It's pretty impressive, that.
Yeah. Right.
Any final things, or are we all done here?
I'm hungry. Can we be done now?
Say bye-bye to the people then.
Bye-bye to the people.
And then, what was your sign-off last week? Let me know if we're shit.
Yeah. If we continue to be shit, then let us know. Any questions? For
Complaints.
us? Complaints? Great.
Any complaints?
Do you know what?
Email them to her because I don't give a fuck.
As long as you complain in the comment section of the videos, it boosts our algorithm. Say
Oh
whatever you
yeah,
want.
yeah. Let's start something off. Let's start an argument. What do you think about the?
This section has been cut due to cancel
Pampers here, You're
culture.
about to shit your pants.
Oh,
You can
Lord.
blur this if you want.
Be kind to your fellow humans.
I think we might have to cut out that bit.
Yeah, let's cut out that bit.
I haven't got the ability to.
Yeah, you have. Anyway,
So
we're done.
sign off.
Well, that is that. What? Where can we find you on?
We
social
didn't even
media?
introduce ourselves.
Yeah. Where can we find you on social media?
In the comments, in the description.
Link in the description. Great. You know, he's going to sort that out. My social medias are also going to be in there. So if he doesn't.
Oh, there's a
let me know.
little thing. I don't know if you can zoom in on this.
On show
on the
day.
QR code.
On show day, he's decided that he's selling these as well. So buy them because I like money.
Yeah, but the QR code that takes you to
yeah,
my
scan.
OnlyFans and my social medias,
Yeah.
and then if you can see on yours, it should have a little QR code as well.
I
it
cannot
does.
see on
It
mine.
has a QR.
Yeah, I just don't know if it's in
whether it's
frame.
visible on the camera.
But it'll be in the
or
it'll be in the description.
not. Yeah. Tell us where you were when you were listening to this, because that's more engagement, isn't it? And I think
Oh, and how are you listening to it? Is it on YouTube or is it on?
That's actually, if you're whacking it on TV as background noise, whatever. That'll be interesting to hear.
And there's not enough women watching according to last analytics. It's all males, 18 to 30 something.
That's the average wrestling fan, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so on our shows, we should be. Oh no, I'm not wrestling anymore. They can do what the fuck they want.
We can plug this. We can plug this on show day.
Okay.
Right.
Good.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
That should be everything.
Okay, bye.
Yeah. Good riddance.
Cool. Press stop.